Check, check.
Sent from heaven. Now you can wage your whole life.
Yo, yo, yo. It's another episode. Once again, we back. It's your girl, Nikki Anticss, with another episode of DocuDJ, getting into depth and highlighting, of course, your favorite DJ. Once again, I want to big up the whole Rise Radio team for having your girl. Big up yourself. And, of course, all the viewers, if you haven't watched any episodes yet, this is your first time tuning in. Make sure you go click the link in my bio and go watch those past episodes. You already know I don't do no long talking when it comes into intro and whatnot. But I do have a very special guest, which is another long overdue interview. DJ, entrepreneur. What do you call yourself? A logistics? I want you to say it.
If I could say it correctly, logistician. I don't.
Logistician.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got DJ Young Sound in the building. Big up yourself. First of all, thank you for coming to sit with me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for having me.
I already told you this is something that was like long overdue, and you know, you're somebody that I've been watching and seeing, and you know, I just been around. Like I said, you know, a lot of DJs don't know, like I be behind the scenes just watching stuff happening. So you're somebody that I definitely feel like you just been humbly doing going through it.
I've been trying.
You've been doing it. Like I can definitely say like you've definitely been doing it. And as far as like your growth, you know, I'm somebody that can say like I wasn't there from the beginning, but from the time I met you and then from the time today right now, I can definitely say you're somebody that just like your growth, you know, that's something that means a lot to you, and I can tell whether you say it or not.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, you know, we gonna get into it. First things first, you know, before we get into DJ Young Sound, I want to go into Justin and, you know, who he was before, you know, DJ Young Sound came about. So I want you to tell me more about basically, you know, where you grew up at, and what was your community like?
I mean, I grew up in Brooklyn. I was more like, you know, inside kid. Wasn't really outside like that. Went to Catholic school.
Oh, yeah. What Catholic school did you go to?
St. Francis.
Wait, St. Francis Xavier?
Nah.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, we were literally classmates and...
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, yeah. I went to Catholic school and then kind of started in the end of my 8th grade year. That's when the whole DJ thing came to play.
Okay, got you.
Then I went to high school and then that was it.
It was over for that. So as far as like in the house now, what was those musical influences like? Like what was mom listening to? What was dad listening to?
I mean, one thing about my parents, they brought me outside.
Okay, so you was an outside baby.
No, I was an inside baby amongst my peers. But like with the older people, I was outside.
Okay.
Like I was like on boat rides at 10 years old.
What?
You know, like up till 4 in the morning. You know, where I had no business being.
Okay, so all y'all saying that y'all outside, y'all not outside because you've been outside.
Oh no, yeah, definitely.
You've been outside.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah,
so the boat rides and like that influences of going out. Not really being in the house necessarily because, you know, and it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
But, you know, you don't hear a lot of, like, you know, as you said, like going out 10 years old on boat rides and whatnot. Like, you know, that experience, that culture experience. So tell me more about culture, like where your family is from.
Well, my family is Grenadian. Both my parents. So we're very musically inclined. So it's like, I was brought up around music just in general. Like
nice.
Everything was music.
Nice. So what was like, can you remember like what your mom and dad, like were they specifically playing like specific genres, or were you like kind of just like?
I mean, so when we went out, it was mostly soca.
Okay.
And then definitely some reggae, like, you know, the Barris and stuff like that.
Right.
Mainly soca.
Okay, got you.
Sure.
Okay, say less. And as far as siblings, like, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 older siblings. I'm the baby, actually.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's so nice. So is it two older brother, sister? What is it?
Brother and sister.
Brother and sister. Okay, got you. And as far as them, like, did you grow up with them and having any influence, like musical wise?
Musically, nah, not really. My brother was a fake DJ. Fake. Like,
what do you mean by fake DJ?
He was like in the basement, playing around and stuff, but he wasn't actually a DJ.
Okay, got you.
But yeah, he was a fake DJ.
Oh, wow. I wrote, brother, if you watching right now, if you heard it here first, he was a fake DJ. But as far as that now, when did you kind of see like a DJ set and was just like, this is something like I want to explore?
I mean, so I had family that was into it. Okay. So I was outside, like I was at family events and they was doing their thing. So I would just go around, stand there, look, listen, listen. And then that was pretty much it.
Like, that's literally it.
Literally.
So I mean, who were some of, as far as family members? Like, were there anybody like specific, or it was just
it's a handful of them.
Okay.
It's definitely a handful.
Okay.
Nobody specific.
Okay.
But it was definitely a handful of them that definitely I grew up, watching, and I just picked it up.
I feel you. So then you said that, it started kind of in middle school where you were kind of getting into it, and then it shot off in high school. Yeah. So tell me about that middle school experience and kind of getting into that.
I mean, so it was like they used to have, like, in the Catholic school, they used to have like little Halloween dances, and so I used to talk my way, because I could talk my way in and out of anything. So I used to talk my way like, hey, listen, just let me play, just let me do a little 1-2. And then when I got to high school, that was it. I seized the opportunity. Like, I went straight to the college. I mean, not the college, the student body. Okay. I was like, listen, I'm a DJ. Let's do this.
I got you.
Yeah. Like,
okay. So like in the last episode too, I was saying, like, when not nice, closed mouths don't get fed. So that's something that you just from the jump was just like, listen.
Always.
I'm
always,
here.
Always. From freshman year, I was a heavy influence. Like, listen, you're having parties. I'm DJing. We having. I remember significantly, like, when Barack Obama got inaugurated. That was my freshman year, and I was like, I was like, yo, listen, I'm DJing. My friends cut school. We was in my school. We was there, we was there.
Oh my gosh. So as far as like now you DJing, was it like, as you say, like you have family, but was it like a group of friends that you had that, you were kind of DJing with, like, in that time?
Definitely. So I had an uncle, right, who had all the equipment.
Okay.
Right. So he'll just be like, call me whenever you need me. He'll be the one, because obviously we couldn't drive and stuff back then. So he would be like, and he's like a manager at his job. So whenever we called him, he could come.
Nice.
So he'll be there to drop off the equipment, pick up the equipment. And then I had Al with me, and that was like, it was just me and him.
Okay.
From beginning to now.
Okay.
Like, that's all it was.
Got you.
High school parties, everything.
So going out into high school, what high school did you go to?
Urban Assembly.
Okay.
A little small school.
I've heard of it. I'm not sure. Where was that in Brooklyn?
It's downtown. Next to the Marriott.
Okay. I know.
On Adams.
Okay, got you. So tell me about that high school experience. Like, what were you doing differently than other DJs on the scene at that time where you were kind of just getting your name out there?
It's a really good question. Well, for one, it wasn't a lot of DJs back then.
Okay.
So it was just more so, I guess, networking in a way. And like you said, closed mouths don't get fed. So it's just like, from the school parties, once you dominate the school parties and you at the lit school parties, then everybody that you meet is going to need a DJ at least one time in their life.
Right.
So if I'm at your school and you having a Sweet 16, guess what they calling? They calling me.
Right.
And then from there, it just
kept going.
It just, that's it right there.
Nah, that's lit. That's
it.
So it was just basically you and Al kind of like dominating these like parties. If you couldn't DJ, was it like he would DJ, and if he couldn't DJ, you would DJ?
Back then, it was more so Al was the hip hop guy.
Okay.
Like, so what it was we were going LimeWire, right? Because I was outside. Like,
okay.
He was mixing.
Okay.
He was outside, so he knew like the hip hop music that was dominating the clubs.
Got you.
Me per se, I just knew my soca music and my reggae just naturally.
Right.
So we'll burn CDs. I'll burn all the reggae. I burn all the soca, all the hip hop. I mean, all the dance hall. And I would have his like couple CDs with just hip hop.
Wow.
So what we would do is just like, we would play. I would play, and then it's like, all right, bro, we need some hip hop right now.
Okay.
And then he'll play, and then,
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Got you. So you coming out, you wasn't like always you weren't strictly an open format DJ. Like you was strictly to dance hall.
Nah, I had to learn to adjust. To be completely honest.
Okay.
When the first set of people I started playing music for was the older Caribbean heads. That's who I started playing music for. So now I was like, I had to adjust to my peers and my age group to see like, all right, what type of music they listen to.
Right.
How is the music being played? So it was a point in time I'll just go out just to hear and listen and observe and stuff like that.
Got you. Okay. So as far as like now you're kind of on the scene. Where did the name Young Sound kind of come from? I mean, you could kind of hear it, but it's just like I want to know the story behind it.
I mean, it's basically what I just said. So I grew up playing for the older people. So you put me in an older West Indian crowd, that was it. Like, there was no competition there. Mm-hmm. So it was just like, I'm a young guy.
Right.
With a nice young sound. I sound young. So it's just like, Young Sound.
Young Sound. That's literally it, y'all. Like, there's no long story.
Yeah, it's really not. People ask me this all the time.
Yo, it's crazy because I'm like, I feel like this season, like, I haven't got, like, a crazy story. Like, I felt like last season, like, I had a few, stories where I was just like, wow, that's crazy. But have you ever thought about changing your name just because, like, back then you started out, it was Young Sound.
Yeah, so
now
the only way I would change my name is if my son starts DJing, I will now become Father Sound. All right? And he would then take the Young Sound.
I love this.
That's the only way I'm changing my name.
So Mason has to become a DJ?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't have to become a DJ.
If he becomes a DJ, then he will take over the Young Sound.
Okay.
And I will now be Father Sound.
Father Sound. I love how that sounds. You see what I did there, y'all? Yes, you see what I did there? But no, that's definitely dope. So now as far as like being on the scene, what was your first encounter now with like a paid gig? Like, do you remember that first moment where it wasn't like what you were used to? This is like some like whole new environment. You don't really know the crowd like that, but it was that first gig. Were you like nervous or any type of like experience? Why?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I could definitely remember this. My freshman year, me and Al, we did our first high school prom.
Okay.
And it was just like it was a DJ, DJ Flip, I believe, was a cool dude back then. He was just like, "Yo, come through. We need speakers," So I was like, "All right, bet."
Okay.
He came and I pulled out my CDs and I was playing music, but it was like kind of culture shock to see like. These is seniors in high school and they rocking with us. Like they're rocking with the music because I'm used to just playing, like for my school, I know these people, I know y'all, you feel me? I hear what y'all listen to, but then it was like, matter of fact, I think we was either in 8th grade or 9th grade, but we was very young to be there. So it was just like, that right there was like mind blowing. That was my first prom. And then from then, I just love proms after that. Like,
I literally can attest to you taking me to a prom and that experience in a sense of like me just watching you DJ and then you telling me certain tips as far as like, like wait till the crowd come in more for you to turn up the music. And I always say that's something that I would never forget because, you just instantly, like for me, like I would just go in and just want the party to be rocking, like put up the music as loud as possible and just like but then I noticed and I sat and I was just like, this makes so much sense because it's like a build in a sense.
For me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me it's an analytic thing for me because it's like, if people come into loud music, it's like, okay, cool, but if they come in, the music low, and then you start, as you switching genres in the crowd, everything starts to raise.
Right.
Then the music get louder. It's like, all right, now it's time to party. You know, it's a brain thing. You know.
No, I feel you. As far as like analytics, like you say, you're very analytic. Does that go into like the certain gigs that, you know, when you were coming up, were you kind of like, I don't want to take this gig or that gig, this is like kind of what I'm sticking to, or was it like just kind of open as far as like?
Back then I was taking everything. Okay. To be honest.
Okay.
From the ghetto to the most upscale, I was taking it all. I didn't even care.
I mean, to then again, it makes sense because it's like, it's kind of practice in a sense. So it's like, it's not
what I call it is experience.
Experience. Yeah. It's like literally.
I can definitely say in my age group, I'm one of the most experienced because I've been there from to the ghettoist to the most upscale to doing colleges and high school to everything. So the experience is definitely a thing.
I agree. So now with experience, like, what is your experience like, I would say, like, playing on radio? Like, is that something that, like, for you as a DJ helped you kind of come to different other, like, experiences or gigs or anything like that?
I mean, radio is just radio. It's just, you know, you playing. It's like, you know, you practicing in your house kind of like, you know, it's like you just playing music for people to hear. It's like, it's to me, it really don't help anything because when you in a party, you actually have to now read the crowd. You actually now have to read people. So for me, radio wasn't really experience or help me in any way.
Anyway,
nah.
Would it be something that you feel like DJ should, you know, kind of do, or is it something that is just like?
I mean, it's honestly their preference.
Okay.
I mean, you could be a great DJ and never play on the radio, or you could be, you know, and then there's DJs that play on the radio that can't really play for parties.
Right,
because they're so used to the radio thing.
Yeah, definitely. So now, as far as like you playing, who are some kind of cats coming up that you were kind of like influenced by? Any DJs like on the scene, or even like before you, anybody specifically that you kind of like took to?
Definitely one memorable DJ was Super Duper Humble. He was very creative in everything that he did musically. His drops, like just everything. You know, he used to do Ustreams, and then it's like you listen. It's like that's not so bad. So he's definitely. I mean, it's a lot of other DJs, but he's definitely one of the most memorable ones.
Got you.
He don't even DJ no more.
Got you.
It's sad.
Damn. Yeah. So is he based here in Brooklyn?
Yeah. He's an artist now.
Okay, got you. Okay, nice. So now, like, would you say that you kind of have a favorite thing to play on, like as far as like CDJs, turntables, Chola, or you just all around like I could play on anything, you just give it to me and I can play on it?
I really don't like turntables. I actually despise them.
You don't like turntables?
No.
Why don't you like turntables?
It's just not my era. It's just not my era.
Do you know how to play on turntables?
I can.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's to me, when you're a DJ, you're supposed to be able to play on anything.
I agree.
But
I agree.
It's not my cup of tea.
I feel you.
So I'm more of a controller guy.
Okay.
You know, pretty much, yeah.
I can't with Ross. No, but as far as like I agree. Like I was talking about as far as like manipulating sound and early, like on my last interview. And is that something like as far as like scratching, like are you someone that is like heavily kind of into that, or is like, nah?
No.
Really?
Mainly, it has to do with how I was brought up musically.
Okay.
Because I guess you could say I was raised musically, because it was more so you're playing music for people to enjoy and not really manipulate it too much.
Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong, scratching is a wonderful thing. Sometimes I wish I could do it great, you know, but it's like, for me, as a DJ, when you in a party, people don't want to hear that all the time.
Right.
People just want to party. People just want to enjoy themselves, hear the music, listen to the music.
Right.
You know, some people don't even like to hear scratching. It's like, yo, what is he doing? He's messing up the song, stuff like that. But, yeah.
Scratching is like it's something that I feel like is, I wouldn't say like hard, but do you think because of like me starting out, like I don't look at it as hard because I've been around DJs and I've seen kind of like the technique of it. So, and I'm a fast learner. I catch on really quick. But do you think that is like something that DJs like they don't want to learn because they feel like the technique is kind of like hard to learn?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it's really a preference, honestly. I mean, that is becoming the new fad. Like scratching is a thing now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
it is.
I mean, that's cool. You know, you could scratch. I mean, that's really
that's
up
that.
to them.
That's
Me personally, what makes it hard for me to scratch is because like I'm a percussionist. I play the drums.
Okay.
Right. So my hands have to be kind of on the same timing. Like I can't. My one hand can't be doing one thing and the next hand is doing another.
Okay,
That makes it very hard for me.
Okay.
Very, very, very hard. So that's a habit that I got into from young, and it's, you know, when the scratching thing came around, it's like that's not something I was able to adapt to.
I feel you.
I could do a little 1, 2, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nah, I can't do that.
Do you know how to play any other instruments? I didn't know you know how to play drums.
Nah, just the drums.
Really?
Yeah.
And when did you learn? Like, is that something you recently just learned, or you
Nah,
know
I've
how to
been
learn?
for years. For years.
So you about to be out here on tour being a drummer? Or nah?
No, but I don't play the kit though. I play the hand drums.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Nice. I'm learning something new about my friend. Wow. But now I want to talk about, you know, your baby in a sense. You know, you're representing right now. I don't got a hat or a shirt, and I'm going to say that out loud. It's cool. But I want to talk about Soca State of Mind and basically like how you came about that idea, how it, you know, curated wise, and, you know, get more into like the events and stuff that you guys put on as like one of the top. I feel like y'all are literally the top when it comes down to throwing soca events. So tell me more about Soca State of Mind, you know, how it came to, about who's a part, and overall goal, I guess.
I mean, it all started basically because at that time, soca music wasn't a thing per se that you would hear in parties 100%. So, and what it was is that it was a lot of people like me that grew up around soca music, and that was heavily in, like, you know, going to family functions and stuff like that actually liked it, but it wasn't really no parties for them at the time.
Okay.
So what it was like, remember, like I said, I was going to boat ride since I was 10 years old.
Right.
And then it was just like, oh, let me just do a soca boat ride. Like, you know, let's switch it up.
Okay.
You know, let's, you know, that was something that big people did back then, was boat rides.
Right.
It wasn't no, at that
On
time,
land.
18 plus boat rides.
Right.
So it was just like,
That's
you know,
true.
let's just do that.
Right.
And then at the same time, you know, back then, the older promoters and the older DJs and stuff like that, they wasn't giving no blood to us young people. Like, as far as like, you know, making a way, mentoring,
Right.
stuff like that. So, I mean, what I wanted to do was just create my own path, my own lane where I can now book the young soca DJs, and now I could do this without having to worry about these older heads. Like, forget you, we don't need you. We got this right here.
Right.
You know, so that's really what that's what it was started around, you know, but then it kind of backfired because it was just like, oh, that's for young people, you know, stuff like that. So it was just like our sacrifice kind of went in vain in a way. But, yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that people think like that now. Are they still like in that type of?
Well, we made the necessary adjustments.
Right.
In the past few years, we definitely made the necessary adjustments. So
Right.
what it was people grew with us, and then it was just like, I want to go to the older people stuff now.
Right.
And then it was just like, oh, no, that's the young people. We're not going there. But, you know, definitely, you know, over the years, we made the necessary adjustments. I was like very strict on that because it was like, it was a lot of people who were like 17, like some years back, and they were like, yo, you know, I've been fiending to go to Soca State of Mind.
Right.
You know, I haven't been, you know, I've been waiting for how much years? And then it was just like, well, what do we do now? We put the age up? Like, that's not fair.
Right.
You know, but
okay.
We learned.
Nah, that's definitely. Would you say that as far as like going from DJing to now curating and throwing events, was that transition hard, or because you were already on the scene and around people, that kind of came easy?
Yeah, it definitely came easy because, I mean, throwing parties is, once you know people, you can invite 100 people that you know personally to an event, and that 100 people could easily turn into 300 people.
Right.
So it's just like that switch came pretty simple.
Yeah. For you, was it something that you always wanted to do in a sense of throwing your own, or was it something that you just kind of seen that was missing, and like you said, like wanted to create a lane for yourself? Was that something that because you was in the scene for so long you saw and then created, or was it something that you always kind of wanted to do?
I think it was something that I always wanted to do because, being around it from young, I was just like, no, I'm going to do this one day.
Okay.
Yeah, like I got to do it.
Okay.
So definitely that's something that I always wanted to do. I like everything that has been happening from Soca State of Mind to now has all been manifested.
Nice.
Like I've sat down and thought about it, dreamt about it, planned it out of my head, and it's happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. But when it comes down to your team now, like, going from you and Al, just, do you have a team now that's helping you kind of like execute these events? Or is it just you and Al? Because I know it's not just you and Al.
Well, I mean, Al, he's doing his own thing now.
Okay.
I'm still he's on the more urban wave.
Got you.
I'm more of on the soca scene, sort of. But I do have a partner, Mr. Fetto.
Big up.
He is, basically him and I that kind of like is pushing through.
Okay.
We definitely have a few other people that, definitely helps us along the way.
Nice.
But for the most part, it's really me and him that's trying to push through.
Right. That's dope. And I feel like you guys are. I feel like you two kind of like, you guys don't rush anything. You guys, I feel like, plan and really like execute exactly what you guys want to get done. I feel like there's no rush. Like, I don't feel like there's a rush. I feel like, to be honest, like I feel like, and I say rush as in like, you guys take your time. You get what I'm saying? It's no rush to compete or to be with. You get what I'm saying? That type of in that type of sense.
I mean, because what it is that the stuff that we want to accomplish and what we want to do, it's not gonna happen overnight. Like, it's gonna take time to build. We not trying to just be these people that throw these, 1-2 parties. Like,
right.
We trying to be eventually like, Soca Brainwash, or we trying to be like a big festival.
Right.
One day. But what comes with that is experience. So even like I said, even with the DJ thing, I've been through the trials and tribulations. Like I've been at parties that, got shot up and ghetto and, moving 3 times in one night and jugging equipment. And, I've been through every environment with this DJ thing. So I just feel like, with this promoter thing, like, we're still young. I'm only 26. So it's just like, in 10 years, we're gonna be unstoppable.
Right.
The experience and the things and the L's and all the stuff that we done been through, we gonna know yes, no, right off the bat.
Right.
So like you said, I mean, we not rushing.
Yeah. And with time tells everything. So with that alone, and as far as like festivals and you guys taking that big, is there places that you guys specifically want to throw, like Soca State of Mind, or like any specific places that you guys target or want to hit, within the brand?
Coming soon.
Oh, we ain't getting the exclusive? Damn.
Nah, coming soon.
All right, I'm going to take it. Coming soon. It's all right. But back to you DJing now, and I want to go real quick because as far as like traveling, you are a traveler. And those experiences and being able to DJ, with carnivals and just out of state, out of country experiences, how has that been as far as like in your career?
Great, because I'm able to kind of see the bigger picture, and once you can see the bigger picture, then you know that, sky is really the limit, even if it has nothing to do with music or parties, when traveling, you kind of like open up your mind, see new experiences, you become more humble, in life, just in general. So definitely the whole traveling thing has just, opened up my mind even 10 times, 20 times more.
Nice.
To the bigger picture.
Nice. Is it to this day, do you have like a favorite place besides New York? Do you have a favorite place to play?
To play?
Like experience-wise.
I would say London.
London?
Definitely.
Yeah, let's get into it. I want to talk about that too, Nine Hill Carnival. And
only because there's no biasness.
Okay.
During Carnival, you see everybody from all walks of life listening to soca and listening to dancehall and listening to, the London music. And if you think like Labor Day is something, nah, London is like millions of people outside.
Crazy,
millions. And it's like, that's definitely because it's like, you can't do no wrong. Mm-hmm. Once you know the basics of music, they're going to be satisfied.
Right.
You can't do no wrong. I mean, obviously, if you do your little bit of homework, you're going to be more elevated than others.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
Love it.
Starting off, were you always in a sense comfortable with speaking on a mic? Because I know like being like carnival wise, you have to like get the crowd jumping, you have to keep going. Was it something that you were like comfortable doing when you first came out?
Nah, not necessarily. Even up to this day. All right, so when I first started playing, for the older people, there was no talking on the mic.
Okay.
So that was the challenge. You just had to make them get up and stay up.
Right.
So that's how I was taught to play.
Got you.
So that's my first go-to. Like, I don't like talking on the mic at parties all the time. Because I just feel like sometimes, to be able to get people up and, hear music, listen to music, enjoy the music, you don't got to speak on the mic all the time. Sometimes it's necessary. I feel like I was able to now I'm able to distinguish now when to talk, when not to talk.
Got you.
But no, that's something I definitely had to learn to do over time. Over time.
Got you.
Over time.
It's something that I think you don't sound bad on the mic.
I've been told that, yeah.
You don't. You don't, obviously speaking to you right now, to me, you don't sound the same. They have a DJ voice. It's a MC voice.
Yeah, but even like that was developed over time.
Right.
Like when I first started, I wasn't sounding like that. Like at all. It was just like, yep.
You ladies, don't got any recording or anything? I'm trying to hear like how you.
Back then?
Yeah.
Nah. It wasn't recording nothing back then.
That's true. But I can only imagine like just how you sounded to how you sound now.
Yeah, horrible.
It's okay. It's all right. But now talking about Carnival, you're a Carnival lover as far as like soca state of mind and just being in that type of environment. Is there something like, you're doing like mass now as far as like mass camps and like putting on your own? How did you kind of come to now, I got my boat ride, I'm like the elevation of it? How did you kind of come to this is the next step that I want to take on in my career?
I mean, it was something that I was introduced to because, at the time it was like, all right, you guys, Soca State of Mind, you guys can promote. You guys obviously have a crowd, a following. These people want to play mass, so it's like, come promote.
Right.
And then that happened, and then it was just like, whoa, our first year we put 300 people in a costume.
Wow.
And it was just like, whoa, and then, kind of grew a love for it. And then, created our own thing, and sky's the limit.
And you want to tell the people what that thing is that you guys created?
Live Carnival.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram
Make sure.
LIV Carnival.
Y'all drop your costumes already?
Sold out, man. Long time. Sold out.
That's OD. Why didn't I get a notification or a text? That's OD. Who do I gotta talk to?
Listen, we already know what you're doing for Miami. Right? You don't gotta play, that with me. We already know what you're doing.
Okay, so yeah. Nah, I want a costume. No, like we gonna talk about it after this. But I do want to go into, you were kind of somebody that I always looked forward to when it came down to birthday parties. and throwing events. I know you and JP used to throw, events as far as like, not events, but, your annual birthday parties like throughout the year. And you recently had one last year. Tell me about kind of like the collaboration and the concepts behind that, because not everybody wants to throw parties for their birthday, but the way you throw parties for your birthday is something like huge and big. Like, it's a experience.
I mean, the changes I've made now, JP does his own thing now, and I do my own thing now. So what I ended up doing was just making it 10 times more personal.
Okay.
Because like I'm not saying I don't really like partying with strangers, but I don't see myself putting out my birthday party to the world, and just saying, hey, it's a regular party, come party, So what I ended up doing was an invite only, to the immediate friends, close friends, and just making it something like that, and this year is gonna be crazier, 10 times crazier.
So I want to talk about not last year, but the year before that. And you had kind of like a secret concept, and what I would say your curation behind that. What was it? You're already kind of like a secretive individual, but it's like, why did you make it that more secretive? Like, what was?
So that was definitely last year.
That was last year?
Yeah. So what it?
Because I wasn't invited, y'all. That's why.
I mean, it's just a thing. So people like exclusivity. You understand? And
they do, yeah.
I consider myself, kind of an exclusive person. Mm-hmm. It's like, you're not going to see me any and anywhere.
Right.
I don't go to just any and any party.
Right.
So it's just like, I have friends and people that are the same way, that are like me. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that I don't like, and there's a lot of things that I like that other people like as well. So it's just like, I feel like people would appreciate a more private event that's not broadcasted, and it just it's more intimate.
Right, right.
Once you have something more intimate, me personally, I feel like people are gonna rock with. I don't want to celebrate my birthday with a whole bunch of strangers. Like, I want to be able to walk around the party, at least know 80% of the people,
right.
Who didn't come with their friends and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't know. That's just where I'm going with my birthday party now.
Got you.
To just make it more intimate. Yeah, definitely.
Got you.
So this year is definitely
10
times more
27.
intimate. Yeah.
I'm invited?
I'll think about it.
All right, y'all. So I'm about to cut this interview out right now. Nah, it's cool. So I do want to go into kind of your sound now. Do you kind of go into... are you a dubplate type of a fan? Like, are you a dubplate? Why not?
Because, for me, personally, I feel like the dubplate doesn't enhance the DJ.
It does. Let's talk about it.
And here's what I'm going to say, right?
And what do you mean by enhance?
So, me personally, right? Let's say I had $5,000 and I said, I'm going to get as much dub plates as that $5,000 can get me.
Okay.
Right? Will those dub plates now guarantee me bookings? Right? Just because I have, 20 dub plates on that $5,000 doesn't guarantee me a booking. Right? If I'm getting bookings regardless, right? What is that dub plate gonna do? Now, don't get me wrong. I do have a few. Right? Mm-hmm. But I don't see the necessity of them.
But do you think because you're looking at it as a thing to get booked, like, is it more of like, because for me, and I ask because I get very, very excited when I'm in a party and I hear a dub plate. Because for me, feel like that DJ went out their way to kind of, obviously we always hear this song in a party, but when you now switch up the words and you have the actual, artist on it and saying whatever you want to say or just kind of bring you up, I feel like that takes me to another level where it's just like, you wanted me to hear that and kind of get excited about.
All right. Now, if I'm in a party,
okay,
and I do a really good job, are you gonna be like, damn, nah, he didn't have no dub plates? Nah, what's going on?
You're right.
It doesn't take away from the DJ.
It doesn't. It doesn't take away from the DJ, but I'm talking about for your audience. For you,
it still doesn't. The audience doesn't take anything away. They don't see you less of a DJ because you don't have dub plates.
But if you didn't throw in, you don't think my experience gets heightened a little bit more? For me, I'm saying, Young Sound, if we at a party and you play a dub plate, you're already shelling. You're already shelling. You are already shelling the place. You're shelling the place. No and ifs or buts. But then you drop in a dub plate.
Granted, listen.
That takes me 10 times higher.
I'm somebody who follows sound clashes. I listen to sound clashes and stuff like that. So I get what you're saying, right? But at the end of the day, right, I personally don't see myself investing money into something like that only, it's only good for, a short period of time.
Okay.
I played a dub plate. Now what? Now
you don't see it. You don't see it as like a collection of just a collection of like a memory.
To me, it's just bragging rights. That's really what it is. And I'm not, I'm more of a humble based guy. I don't need to brag. Like, okay, yes,
I love
you got the dub plates, but guess what? I booked that artist before.
Right.
Like you feel me? Like
talk your shit.
It's okay. Like, yeah. So like, I really don't, see. I really don't see the, the necessity of it. I think it's great.
Okay.
And the DJs that spend their money to get the dub plates, kudos. Kudos. But me personally, I'm not doing it.
You're not gonna do it.
Nah.
I guess. I guess it's something that just for me, like, I'm just like, you got that? Like, oh my God. Like, but that's just me. And like you said, like, you broke it down to another where I don't even think about, where it's just like, oh yeah, that's true.
To me, it's the same way as just buying jewelry and expensive clothes. It's the same thing. Like, not everybody has to do that.
Right.
I could go to the party in sweats and slippers and shell the party and nobody not gonna look at me different.
Right.
Compared to if I bought $1,000 shoes, $1,200 jeans, I have on a $5,000 chain, my earrings is $2,000. It don't take away or add to to the DJ experience. Right. So whether I spent $400 on a dub or downloaded the music off record pool or franchise record pool, it don't make a difference.
Got you.
So that's the way I see it.
I see.
And then there's certain people in certain environments that dub plates do matter.
Right.
So more so like the dancehall DJs. You play a dub plate in the dancehall parties. It's like, you play a soca dub plate. It's like, oh, okay.
Right.
So again, it has to do with your environment as well.
I agree.
So.
I agree. Thanks for having that conversation with me. No, but as you said, like, the DJs watching right now, like, I feel like that is super important to really understand that it's something that you don't need to have to feel that you are the best. So it's like something for throughout this whole interview, it's just like you said, like, it's your preference. It's a lot of, when it comes down to DJing, it's just your preference.
It's no one way to do things.
Right.
And that's what I think that a lot of people don't understand. And I feel like that's why I'm kind of misunderstood a lot, because like I go against the grain. Like it's not, there's no one way to DJ. It's no one way to play music.
Right.
Just because, like, okay, the top 5 DJs might play music in this way and they might say these things on the mic. Because I could name to you like different DJs in different scenes that are just as great, but they do different things. So you have entertainers. You have some DJs that really get on the mic and entertain the crowd. Right. But then you have some DJs that go on and don't have to say a word, and they're just as respected and just as talented. Right. So I don't want, like, people to feel like, oh, well, because this person doesn't do this like that person does, he's less of a DJ. So I feel like sometimes that's what, is the issue nowadays, is because people are going with the hype.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't want any DJ coming up to feel discouraged, like, oh, okay, you're not the best talker on the mic, or you don't entertain the crowd as well. Once you can play music, that is the main goal.
Right.
Once you can get people off their feet, standing on their feet and rocking from left to right from beginning to end, that's all that really matters.
Right.
So, yeah.
I agree. That was beautiful. Well said. Well said.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome. So now, you being a dad now, that's something that I could only imagine your scheduling, it's like hectic, Big up Mason, wherever you're at. Hey, boo. And I just only want to, understand, like, what is that like now, being a dad and, working and, getting gigs and doing that. How is that balancing for you?
The support system is great.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really the least of my worries.
Okay.
When this thing come around, the support system is phenomenal. I couldn't ask for a better support system.
Okay, love it.
So yeah, that's nothing I have to worry about.
Got you.
For the time being.
Got you. Yeah. So do you think, like, with more kids, it's gonna get a little bit more hectic? Like, what you saying? Like, you got one already, I could do this. I bring 2, 3 in, and it's still gonna be the same thing.
What time does interview finish? Cause you putting some negativity in the air.
All right, so let me just
definitely. I'm good for now. I'm good for now. Yeah.
No, I feel you.
Yeah,
but just knowing that DJs out here, I could only imagine the night gigs and coming in late, having to get rest, and then focusing on yourself. But just to have that support, that's just good to hear.
Nah, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Some nights it's rough when he doesn't want to go to sleep when he's supposed to go to sleep, and and then I have a 9 to 5, so that I recently started back after the pandemic.
Right.
So it's just like, it's a rough adjustment sometimes, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Nah, I feel you. And you're doing it, so pick up yourself.
I'm trying. Yeah.
You're doing it. So now with the pandemic and that whole happening, how is it kind of now, like, with you DJing? Like, were you somebody that was online streaming, or you would just kind of just like?
To be honest, the bookings like increased times 10 during the pandemic.
Let me hold $1. What did you say?
I don't know what it was, but it's just like, everything that I've manifested to the point where, like, I never, promote myself as a DJ. Like, that's one thing I pride myself in, that, I don't have a flyer, book Young Song. I don't post book me. But I was booked every single weekend during the pandemic. And that's mainly because, my philosophies from back then, it was more so like, everybody is going to need a DJ. Once you're a good person and a solid individual, the goal is to be on the top 3 people that they think about calling when they need a DJ.
Okay.
So it's just like, if they call, they might call this person first, that person, and then I might be available. It's just like, at least the goal is to make that top 3. And people are going to support you once you're a good individual first.
Right.
Like, you could be the best DJ, but if you're a-hole, they're not really going to support you.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I pride myself in. So growing up, I used to be like, yo, I'm not posting certain things on Facebook. Like, I'm going to purposely post, these type of uplifting things.
Right.
So that, people could see that, because they're always watching. Somebody's always watching.
Right. Yeah.
No matter whether you get 3 likes, 4 likes, 1,000 people saw that. So that's one thing that I base, from young. I feel like I was ahead of my time. I definitely pride myself in moving forward, because, like, it's like now my private bookings is just like every single weekend. Like,
right.
And I don't promote myself. And then people go be like, oh, you have a business card. Nah, I don't. Like, take my Instagram, take my number. Even though I feel like, that might be messing up some of my bookings, but it doesn't.
Right.
It definitely doesn't. So,
was it ever, like, within the whole time of you DJing, did you ever was like, I need to get a manager or like anybody else to like handle the bookings?
Definitely. But I'm stubborn, so That's not something that has ever happened. I had an assistant at one point, but you know, things always fluctuate. You know, so it's just like, you know, you had some up seasons, some down seasons. So it was just like, you know. But now, like during the pandemic, I had more time on my hands to deal with it.
Right.
So, because it was like I wasn't working. You know, I took a year and a half off of work, and I was able to deal with everything myself.
Nice.
So it's just like now that I'm back working, I'm kind of stuck in the same, you know, habit of more organization, you know, having my calendar and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go with the Virgo energy. We here. Oh, you thought I wasn't going to say that, but we definitely here. So,
yeah, we the best.
Yes. As far as like your mixes now, because I'm about to get on you. So we can't hear no mixes. We can't get an update on SoundCloud. We can't get a, like, what's going on with that in a sense where it's just like.
I mean, so in complete honesty.
So not to cut you, because you just definitely did say that, you know, you're not one to promote in a sense like that. So is that another strategic move where it's just like.
No, not necessarily. Because, you know, obviously if you put out mixes, people are going to hear you and want to book you more. But for me, it was a point in time that, like, I don't know what happened in Brooklyn, but it was just a million DJs. So, and then what ended up happening was everybody's putting out mixes and they all sounded the same. So I was just like, listen, I ain't doing no mixes. I'm going to leave this to be anticipated. And it just came to the point where I was just like, I'm not really feeling this mix thing no more. Like, because, you know, these young DJs started coming out and they talented. And it was just like, yo, if I put out a mix, I'm not going to be scratching like this. My mix not going to sound like this, you know? And then it was just like, you know, like I couldn't really, you know, it was just more so like, I'm going to just chill with the mix for a while. It's still anticipated, you know, so even if I do decide to put out a mix, I know how to market it and how to get the anticipation. But I am my biggest critic. So I've made a lot of mixes. And if it don't sound up to par to me, I'm not putting it out. So it's the perfectionist in me that, you know, I have been making mixes. It just hasn't been, you know, up to my liking, up to my standards. So it's just like, delete.
I feel you, but at the same time, it's just like, when you gonna give it up? When you just gonna like, what is it gonna take for you to then to really like curate a mix where you feel, because you've been saying you've been mixing, you've been dropping, you've been, you know, recording mixes, but when do you feel now that it would be a time to kind of like drop a new mix?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, we gotta go to a party for real?
What I will do now is start recording my sets now. Like, I think that's what I'm gonna start taking more effort into doing. I really don't care for it, but I've as you heard, you know, I just started doing a little 1-2, and then now I'm gonna just go with it.
You should.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go with it.
Because, again, you're low-key, you know, you promote here and there where you're going to be at here and there. But for someone like, you know, I could always hit you and be like, yo, where you at tonight, or, you know, where you playing. But at the same time, it's sometimes where I'm, like, riding in the car and I'm just like, I would love to vibes to a Young Sound mix right now. You know, I would love to vibes to that. So, you know, I'm asking because regardless of a friend or a supporter, you know, I am a supporter. So it's somebody that, you know, I do in the car listen to mixes where I was just like, dang, I want to listen to a Young Sound mix right now, but I don't have a mix. So you got to get on that, and you got to drop a mix for us.
I'll see what I could do.
I cannot with you. But we are wrapping up on time, guys. And, you know, before we get out of there, I do want to ask a very important question, because I feel like you are somebody that's been on the scene and can definitely, like, give me some insight and kind of, like, I feel like instill some advice to, these young and upcoming DJs. So what is something that I would say that you've seen on the scene that you would like to change or see change, whether it is you or not you, but it can range from anything to promoters dealing with DJs playing, anything in that sense that you feel that you want to see change on the scene?
The one thing I would say that doesn't kind of relate to me, but I feel like would relate to everybody else, is the politics.
Okay.
I created my own lane where a promoter don't have to book me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still be booked. I'm gonna still throw my own parties and book myself. Like I'm gonna be okay. But to the younger DJs and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of the promoters need to kind of stop the politics, kind of, look outside the box, give people different opportunities, because basically, sometimes all people need is like one opportunity. Like, I always tell people that all I need is one opportunity to prove myself.
That's true.
And you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
So it was just like giving people more opportunities, and then also to the young DJs to not even the young DJs, but just DJs in general, just don't give up. Like, keep pushing and know what you want and manifest what you want. And if you want to be a certain type of DJ, you have to make the necessary sacrifices. You have to do the certain things that you want to do. So if that means, for 3 months you can't go out and buy bottles and pop bottles because, you might want 5 dub plates because you want to be a dub plate DJ, or you might want to, throw your own party one day. If you got to make the necessary sacrifices, make it, because, society now and social media now has a way of kind of like depicting certain things. It has a way of kind of depicting certain things and discouraging a lot of people. So I feel like a lot of people get discouraged based off what they see on social media and the lifestyle that they see people live.
Right.
So it's just like, don't really let that get to you, because, time is just like, time will tell.
Yeah.
Feel me? Time will definitely tell. And that it definitely worked for me. And, I was able to build something where I don't have to rely on a soul to make money. Right. Because, it gets to the point where it's just like, I've booked, and amongst my peers, I've booked like, at least 80% of the DJs amongst my peers, and I can't say the same for them, but it's okay. Like, I'm doing fine. Like, I'm doing good without it. Right. So it's just like, just try to build something that you stand for, stick to what you stand for. Do not let anybody take you off your game. Right. Do not let nobody stray you from your vision. Nobody's gonna see your vision like you do. Because even now, I'm still building my vision. And I had to make a lot of sacrifices, lose a lot of friends, lose a lot of peoples, a lot of people, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, giving more DJs, a chance.
Definitely.
That's something that, I feel like you said, there was a flux of new DJs that just came, out of nowhere. And I feel like it was like literally when DJ first started in the Bronx, when in the sense where they literally like it burned down or it was a blackout or something like that, and everybody got equipment, like, you know what I'm saying? And then everybody was just out here. So I feel like it was definitely one of those times, but like you said, like giving people a chance, and also like speaking up, and closed mouths don't get fed. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like you can shell at this point, at this party, then I don't see why you can't reach out. And what's the worst that could happen? They're gonna say no.
Exactly.
But you got, like you said, you just got to keep going. Even if you got to create a lane for yourself, do it. Just keep going. So I can't say anything else. I agree. Once again, Young Sound, thank you for being a part. I appreciate. I definitely have Each One Teach One coming up. So I do want to have you back if you are available.
What is that?
Each One Teach One is like another segment on DocuDJ. So now we're going to get technical. You're going to teach me something. So each one teach one, you know. You're going to teach me something that you know, something that I don't know and I want to learn kind of. So, you know, whether it's come from scratching, you know, beats or anything like that in a sense, you know, I just want to get the technical side of it. You know, we sit down, have a conversation now. So, yeah, that's something that, you know, I'll hit you for. It'll be a quick, like, 5-minute segment, something like that. Real quick. Real quick. But once again, I want to thank you for coming and sitting down and having this conversation with me. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Once again, guys, this is another episode of DocuDJ with Young Sound. And make sure you guys follow him on Instagram at Young Sound. SoundCloud, we come in with the mixes, don't worry. Make sure y'all follow Soca State of Mind. You know, the boat ride is sold out, unfortunately.
You plan to come?
I have a gig that day.
Oh, all right.
I do, I'm not gonna lie. And I thought I wasn't gonna be in town.
Oh, that's dope. Wow, nice.
We're gonna talk after this. Don't worry. But yeah, Soca State of Mind is sold out, but you know, you might be able to get a one nickel ticket if you know Nikki, if you know me, you know, I might be a little plug or something like that. But once again, you guys, make sure you follow me, Nikki Anticss, on Instagram. You follow DocuDJ. Next week, we're back again, once again. I think I have DJ Nunu next week. So, you know, I sit down with my gal and we're going to chat. Once again, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Rise Radio, Bake Up Yourself. I appreciate y'all. Whole team. Next week, we back at it again. We gonna turn up the vibes though before we go out. Hey, it's gal time. We
the mix. It's lit.
I ain't hear this in a long time.
It's an old mix. I know.
Memories don't live like people do. They always remember you. Whether things are good or bad, it's just the memories that you have. The beginning man a sing say, hey, boy stop live down in the past. Stop remember when man a ride us. Now you dead don't mean you're so lost. Just like a serpent snake on the cross. Again, boy stop live down in the past. Stop remember when man a ride us. All between the body and the peep through the glass.